The 5K a month side hustle hiding in plain sight. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is the notary business. More specifically, the mobile notary business. Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Suave. I'm a 7-figure entrepreneur. I've been in the notary business for going on 8 years now. As soon as this year runs up, it'll be about 8 years. And honestly, these are one of those industries that I'm very glad has been overlooked because it's not one of the flashiest businesses in the world, right? It's not like the drop shipping. It's not the Airbnb, the e-commerce type of thing. It's really one of those traditional businesses that over the years have starting to become a little bit more popular because people are understanding it. So if you're completely new and you don't know what a mobile notary is, just imagine you're a regular notary, right? Usually when you go to a notary, you need sometimes just simple document signed for the average everyday person, like a school form and things of that sort, right? But what you guys don't understand is many of you think that as a notary, they're only getting paid $10, $20, $15, $5. But that's not the case. There's what's called a mobile notary, right? And a mobile notary is essentially the same thing, but they're mobile. Now, in a lot of states, you have set amount of fees on the amount of money that you can charge customers for notarization. When you go in there to notarize the signature, some states may say you can only charge 10. But what you can do in a lot of cases, depending on your state, depending on your rules and regulations, you have to look it up, you're able to charge for other things. So for example, you can charge for the travel going to their location, or you could charge for other courier services, or you could charge for printing out the documents for them, or you could charge for mailing out the documents. So instead of charging that $10 that you would normally do, you can charge more than that, way more than that. And I'm talking about $75 plus per job. And if you're just starting off, $50. But a lot of times, these jobs are less than 30 minutes, honestly less than like 10, 15 minutes. But for safekeeping, I'll say it's less than 30 minutes and you're in and out. And it's very simple. So these are one of the industries that I loved when I first became an entrepreneur. I dabbled into it, made some money from it, but you know, it was one of the flashy businesses as a young 20-year-old. So you just want, I want to do something cool, but it always made money. So as I went on my journey to try other businesses out, those came and they went. They were successful, then they failed because they're just trends. I ended up coming back to this business and I was like, oh wow, this has been super stable. It's kind of like taxes. You always need to have your taxes done. Kind of like a notarization. You need to have a notary done. So 5K a month side hustle. So how do you actually become a mobile notary? This video more specifically is for the newer audience, or if you're someone that's already a notary and just want a little bit extra information, this can help you out too. But how do you become it? First, you need to get commissioned. First, you need to find out how to get commissioned in your state. Oops, I know I misspelled that. You need to find out how to get commissioned in your state so you can actually be able to notarize signatures. Once you're able to do that, you can now become a notary. So now what's very interesting is to do this isn't actually that hard. Some states allow you to take tests, study, and knock out the paperwork, but honestly, it's not really that hard. After you get your commission, the only thing I would say that you absolutely need next is, I would say, your stamp, obviously, because you need to notarize the documents. And then I would even say like a notary journal so you can keep track of all the notarizations that you do for people. But outside of that, you don't really need much to be a mobile notary. As you get more into your craft, or as you become like what's called a loan signing agent, you might need a printer and things like that. But if you're really just down on your luck, down on your funds, I would definitely say look into the mobile notary industry because it can be something that brings you in that extra income that you might be looking for. So I just want to start off by saying that. So within the notary industry, there's a lot of different things that you can do. So for example, as a notary, there's different things. You have a mobile notary, which is a person that goes to the location. But even under mobile notaries, you have loan signing officers. So these are not loan signing officers. You have a loan signing agent. So these are the people that notarize like these home closings. And when people are buying and purchasing and selling a house, sometimes they have to get these documents notarized in simple terms. So you need to be able to, they need to have somebody there that can notarize it for them. And usually a notary comes out. So that's a loan signing agent. And in the notary industry, a loan signing agent is extremely popular. Maybe because there's always houses that are being bought and sold. So when people become a notary, this is one of the biggest things that they do. So After loan signing agent, you can also be a person that specializes in estate planning, like I did. So estate planning is basically like this. The easiest way to explain it is you have people that want to protect their offspring. And they usually want to get a power of attorney done. They want to do a healthcare derivative. They want to do a will. They want to do a trust. The people that are looking to have those done, what you're basically doing is going to the location and notarizing those type of documents for them. The reason why I liked the estate planning a lot is because I was in a wealthier area, especially outside of college, and a lot of people that needed to have this done happen to be people with a lot of money. So for one job, for example, I could charge around $300, and that would cost me less than an hour of my time to do. So many of you don't make $300 a day for a job, so it might not be that much for you, but for me, I was like, oh, for less than an hour, $300 to stamp a paper, look at some signatures, authenticate some stuff, that was big for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't making any money, so that's why I love the estate planning. After that, you have a few other things. You have apostilles. These are usually notarizing documents or getting documents authenticated with people that are overseas. And then you have fingerprinting. Usually companies or like schools or jobs need to get things authenticated, and they need someone to go and do their fingerprinting. So that is something else that you are able to do as well. So basically, there's a lot more things you can do within the notary field. And I thought it was important to explain this to you guys because you might just think it's boring. You might think, oh, being a notary is boring. I don't want to just be a notary and stamp papers all day. But you got to understand, there's so many different layers and so many different things that you can do once you get your commission. I'll say the most important thing, though, is to just get your commission first. So I would recommend highly not to do what a lot of these other people out there that are looking to gain a little bit more money are doing. So they find out about the notary fields. They're like, oh yeah, I want to do it. Then they'll go on TikTok. They'll go on YouTube Shorts. They'll go on Instagram Reels. Excuse me. And what they'll tend to do is just ingest a lot of content. Just watch a lot of content, watch a lot of content, watch a lot of content, which is okay. But what tends to happen is analysis paralysis. And that's what I want everybody watching this video to avoid. Binge watch some content, find a creator that you like, but at some point you need to go from that researching phase to that planning, and then from that planning to execute. Right? There's a season for everything. Not every season is just going to be you always only studying, because what happens is you feel like you're doing work, you feel like you're getting stuff done, but you're really not really getting anything done. You're just looking up a whole bunch of information. So get your commission as soon as possible, and then remember, you need to research, plan, and these are the phases. You have researching phase, you have your planning phase, execute, and then you have you reiterate, but I don't want to make it too confusing for you guys. So basically, it's just a loop. All of this is kind of like a learning loop. You research, plan, execute, you learn, and then you research, and then you fix it, and then you research, plan, execute, learn. That's how you get better in any business, just doing that same loop over and over. But for your instance, just remember, you need to research, have a month, have a week, not even a month, have a week that you're just doing a whole bunch of just studying and stuff like that. Get your courses, get your guides, get your coaching, and then after you do that, put a hard deadline on yourself. Like, all right, I'm only going to look at this stuff for 2 weeks, and then I'm actually going to start planning, and then I'm just going to execute and get my commission and just get started. It's better to hit the ground running and learn as you go than to be planning forever and then not actually getting anything complete, because you just feel like you're being. It's like theatrical procrastination or productive procrastination. That's what I've heard somebody call it before. So that's what you need to do. So after you get your planning, your notarization done, your commission, and you figure out what type of notary you want to be, at that point you'll then move on to the marketing phase, right? And I'm simplifying this for you guys to understand, but at like a bird's eye view, these are the things I would say. Because after you get your commission, what I tend to see people do is just continue research, and then sit around and wait for jobs to be sent to them. But you can't do that. At that point, you need to learn, okay, after you understand how to do the documents, you need to then go on to understanding how to market yourself, which I would say is a very important thing. For, for, excuse me. For example, no one cares that you have your commission, right? When you finally become a notary, you're going to be excited. You might want to tell your family and friends, but no one's really going to care as much as you do. And the best thing about this business is that there are people out there that need notaries to do jobs for them. They need you. This is a need-based service business. So at that point, you just need to learn, how do I get myself, my business, my brand in front of people that need me? So there needs to be a section or a portion of your researching and planning phase that you're focusing specifically on marketers and customer acquisition. So once you understand how to do that, then at that point you'll know how to do your documents, you'll be commissioned, you know what you're focused on within the notary industry and what type of documents you want to do, and you know how to bring in clients. I hope I didn't say that already. But yeah, you understand the whole loop of it. These are going to be the things that you need to know to get to that 5K a month. Of course, there's no more nuances, but to give you a nugget, if you want to learn how I got clients on number 4, the marketing, what I do is something called the Notary hybrid system, right? And I explained that to you, but let me just type this out so you guys can see it. So that Notary hybrid system is a system that I create to help me gain clients with little income. Because when I first started off as a notary, like I said, I didn't have no money like that. I wasn't out here balling, and I needed to make money. So along the way, I wrote down different things that I did that I knew could help me, different ideas and things that I executed on that helps me bring in clients, and I put that together and I just call it the Notary hybrid system. This was something that was exclusively only for me to use. It wasn't like a secret or anything, but it was just like, I just need to create a system to bring in clients because I'm broke. And that's what I put together for you guys. It's called the Notary hybrid system. If you're interested in learning that and seeing exactly what I did to bring in clients, how I brought in clients, stay around to the end of this video. I'll explain it to you guys at the end, but hopefully this helped you learn a little bit more about the notary industry and give you a little tips and tricks. But anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and stick around to the end of this video so you can have a special little prize. If you found this helpful, make sure to join our free Notary Knowledge Academy. It's the #1 community for all notaries. And if you need one-on-one mentorship on how to grow your business from 3 to 8K plus in your notary business, all the links are down below. Go ahead and click that, and I'll see you guys on the inside.